Welcome to Voiced. Today's post is from subreddit True Off My Chest by Acrobatic Bus 8558, and it is about their experience and regret following laser eye surgery 5 years ago, detailing both the unexpected challenges and nostalgic feelings surrounding their previous life with glasses. I'm 36, and this month marks exactly 5 years since I had my eyes lasered, which made me think about it, and I wanted to share my experience. I spent a long time considering the procedure, but ultimately, the frustration of wearing glasses all the time pushed me to go for it. I had 9.725 and 6.5, so I could barely see my own hands clearly without them, and even though I wore contact lenses regularly, they would make my eyes burn, forcing me to take them out after just a few hours. I hated having to bring glasses and contact lens supplies with me everywhere I went. I also despised the fact that the first thing I had to do in the morning was reach for my glasses. I couldn't even go to the bathroom without them. I was constantly reminded of my dependence on them, and to make matters worse, I never found a pair that truly fit my face or made me feel confident. 5 years ago, I decided to go to my regular eye doctor to explore the possibility of laser eye surgery. I trusted him because he didn't offer the procedure himself, so I felt like his assessment would be unbiased. After a thorough examination, he said my eyes were perfectly suited for it. I had a thick cornea, no issues with moisture, and overall healthy eyes. He didn't see any reason why I shouldn't go through with it. I asked about the risks, and he mentioned I might experience some complications for a few months, possibly up to a year in rare cases. The most common long-term issue, he said, was dry eyes. This reassured me. After that, I went to a nearby laser eye specialist. He gave me the same assessment. My eyes were perfect candidates. I had to decide between two methods. The traditional flap method, where a flap of corneal tissue is created and then replaced after the laser work, or the more modern approach, where the upper layer of skin is entirely removed and has to grow back. The flap method has a quicker recovery, but there's always a small risk of the flap tearing open if, say, I got hit in the face with a ball. The second option takes longer to heal and is more painful at first, but once the skin regenerates, it's as strong as ever. I chose the latter, which also was a bit cheaper, simply because it is quicker and there is less manual work required by the surgeon. The surgery itself was quick and painless. The first few days afterward were very uncomfortable, like having sand in my eyes all the time, but I took the prescribed medication, wore sunglasses 24/7 for 2 weeks, and always wore them outside for the next few months. I attended all my checkups, and everything seemed to heal perfectly. For a while, I was thrilled. I could see, without glasses. I had some expected side effects, like slight double images, starbursts, and visual distortions, but I was told they would improve over time, and they did. But they never went away completely. Even today, 5 years later, I still experience slight double images when looking at bright objects. Traffic light figures, for example, are hard to see because there are multiple, slightly offset versions of them. For some reason, the green figures are worse than the red ones. The same happens with traffic lights that have arrows. I need to be closer to see them clearly. Those modern super reflective or LED traffic signs? From a distance, they all blur together, and my brain has to do the heavy lifting to figure out what they are, based on their shape and color. I do still recognize them unambiguously far enough away, though, but not as far away as before. Dusk in a city, when artificial lights dominate the scene, is particularly difficult. If light hits my eyes from the side, it causes my vision to lose contrast, almost like there's a thin, white, semi-transparent filter over everything, like wearing greasy glasses. None of this affects my ability to navigate day-to-day life, but the issue that really depresses me is stargazing. Before the surgery, I could see stars as perfectly clear, sharp, differently sized and bright points of light against the black night sky. Now, all I see are faint, smudgy spots with starbursts around them. What used to be one of my favorite activities for warm summer nights, lying in the jar butt and staring up at the night sky, thinking about the depths of the universe, has become something I can no longer enjoy in the same way. Another surprising realization: I actually miss wearing glasses. Not the necessity of them, of course, which I hated, but how they were a part of me. I never thought I'd say this, but I occasionally think a good pair of glasses could complete my outfit. They were also practical in ways I hadn't appreciated. My glasses protected my eyes from wind, rain, branches, and flying debris like insects or leaves. Since the surgery, I've hurt my eyes more often than I ever did before, which was pretty much zero. This makes me wonder how many minor incidents my glasses shielded me from without me even noticing. There's also the issue of looking at small objects. Before, I could simply take off my glasses and bring things close to my face to zoom in. Now, that ability is gone. It's a minor thing. I wouldn't even consider an inconvenience because it's the same as before while wearing contacts. After all, a magnifying Gielbut works much better anyway. Another thing I didn't expect is how sensitive my eyes have become. They often feel slightly swollen or more tender, especially when I instinctively rub them. Multiple eye doctors have assured me that nothing is wrong, that everything has healed perfectly. Still, they just feel different. In the end, I'm left with mixed feelings about the whole experience. Yes, I can see without glasses, and that's an undeniable improvement that makes life easier. But I gave up perfect night vision, the ability to see stars clearly, and a certain level of protection for my eyes. If someone asked me today whether I'd do it again, I honestly don't know what I'd say. The things I lost feel almost as valuable as the things I gained. Edit. I never expected this post to get that much attention. I'm honestly a bit overwhelmed. There are a few things I'd like to address based on the comments I've read. Firstly, a lot of people suggested I see another doctor, and I appreciate the advice. I'll definitely look into it. Perhaps there are glasses that could improve my night vision and reduce the double images and starbursts I've been experiencing. It does make me wonder why this wasn't suggested earlier by doctors. Regarding the PRK procedure, I'm not entirely sure if my doctor explicitly said it was more modern. That's just how I recall it, since they recommended PRK as the method with better long-term outcomes and fewer potential complications. From my understanding, PRK is also suggested for police officers, military personnel, and athletes, especially in martial arts, as the flap remains a potential weak point. I was very clear that I wanted the surgery with the best long-term results, regardless of cost. Since they didn't push the more expensive option, and advised that if I could handle a week of discomfort and a few days off work, PRK was the way to go. So that's what I chose. Some people mentioned that many eye doctors wear glasses and avoid laser surgery themselves. Interestingly, the doctor who did my assessment told me he had undergone PRK himself. At least that's what he said. The actual surgeon did, however, wear glasses XD. I hadn't come across the smile procedure when I was doing my research. Is it really that new? I should also mention that I had a slight astigmatism, which was corrected during the surgery. Every checkup since has confirmed perfect vision, no short-sightedness, no astigmatism, normal pressure, normal moisture levels, etc. During the day, my vision is flawless, indistinguishable from when I used glasses or contacts before. The major issues only arise during dusk and under certain artificial lighting. Strangely, my vision improves again at night. While not quite as sharp as before, I can still clearly make out trees, branches, and other high-contrast objects when walking through the woods at night under a full moon. I think indirect lighting is the cue here. One thing I hadn't mentioned previously is that I now struggle with sudden changes in lighting. For example, when it's dark and I look up from my phone, it takes several 20-30 seconds for my eyes to adjust. I can kind of improve that by closing my eyes sometime. The same happens when I step out of a brightly lit building into the dark. Before, the adjustment was almost instantaneous, so I never gave it much thought. No idea how that's even connected to the surgery. Wow, this Reddit post really highlights the complexities of laser eye surgery. It's fascinating how this procedure can yield such diverse outcomes even years after the fact. On one hand, the freedom from glasses or contacts is a significant win, but then there's the reality of ongoing visual distortions and the loss of that crisp stargazing experience. It's a reminder that every choice has its trade-offs, and what works for one person might not be the ideal solution for another. I can't help but feel empathy for the poster's struggle with their mixed emotions about the surgery. It's not just about correction, it becomes part of how you experience the world. I'd love to hear what you all think. How do you weigh the pros and cons of such life-changing procedures? Have you had a similar experience, or do you have thoughts on eye surgery in general? Drop your comments below. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Voiced. If you enjoyed daily high-quality stories, please like and subscribe to show your support.